this is going to be a slightly different presentation because I'm not going to be looking at you guys, okay? I got to drive. I put my phone up on the dash to get ready for this thing, and it's 96 degrees here. The sun is so intense that in 3 minutes the phone overheated. So now I got it down. I got a little magnetic phone holder that goes into the vents on the air conditioning system. So I got the air conditioning blowing right on it, so it should stay cool enough to continue to do this. You guys will have to tell me which format you like better.
In 1 mile, turn left to merge onto I-295.
I was thinking about something. I was reviewing one of the tapes yesterday, and here's an interesting thought. Old Bhagwan says he's Buddha. And if that's true, and I implied that it is, there'll be nuances in the way he expresses the things that he expresses. And this is a distance of about 2.5 feet, and you can tell by what I'm looking at on the video, you know, it's my head's that big, and in real my head is that big. But if you brought just my face, my head into the screen, it would be pretty big, and you would be able to see more. You know, you can almost, some of these cameras are so awesome, you'd probably be able to see the pores on my skin. A master's face is a thing of great beauty because of the degree to which it is able to express energy. So the more you get to see that component of me, the more it makes sense for you to consider that, well, let's at least listen to the guy and see what else he's got to say. I've been working every day. I got, I think, 4 or 5 of those little pullover. I hate those kind of shirts, but I think those shirts are 7 or 8 years old. It's unbelievable. They're not faded. They don't wear. They look good, and you take them out of the dryer, and you don't have to iron them. So I'm going to keep wearing them, and it says I'm an Empire guy. You know, I'm proud of the fact that I'm an Empire guy. We're the best guys out there. And occasionally someone will come up to me and say, "Hey, are you an Empire guy?" And if we're lucky, maybe we get a sale. Because that's how I make my money right now. And I'm able to sustain myself, and that's good. And my guess is that even with the reduction in income that
at the light, use the left lane to merge onto I-295 North.
Component of our income, I'm fine. You know, we don't have all the outrageous extra medical bills that we had when she was with us. So I'm just fine from the standpoint of money. And I'm not to the point yet where I'm doing stuff all the time. There's like maybe 3 things that a guy in my position can do. General categories.
Turn left.
1, I actually did for a couple, 4 or 5 days, I told you about it. You could just go into an extreme funk and withdraw, and no one will see you for the next 25 years. And you'll be content, not happy, but content. The second is a kind of a middle ground where you merge back into society, but you play it really safe. You're not taking any chances. You're bumping into people, you know, but you're not embracing them yet. You're just kind of you mellow it out, okay? And the third thing is more difficult because it requires you to say to yourself, whatever happened in the past has happened in the past. I have no control over it and no ability to influence it. I can screw around with my mind and massage it. That's what a lot of you guys do. You massage what happened so it can feed your anger or your hate or your lust, whatever energy it's feeding. So understand this. Those kind of energies
In 14 miles, take exit 33 onto Duval Road toward International Airport Boulevard.
See what I'm doing here. So, the third thing that a guy in my position can do, and I think I already implied this in one of my tapes, is he can grab the world by the ass and shake it. And see how that works out for him. May not. But then, let's say that I get lucky and they figure out how to keep me alive with these crap lungs that I have. You know, I had a phone consult with my primary care doctor at the VA. Nobody gets to see doctors anymore. It's not totally true, but everything that can be done by electronic means is being done that way because of the virus, and that's understandable and that's good. But
use the second lane from right to take exit 357 onto Lane Avenue and stay on 103.
Is another doctor, big time doctor. He's in a research program that's trying to develop a mechanical
take the exit, then turn left onto Lane Avenue South.
A person like me could either wear or have installed. And
at the light, use the left lane to turn onto Lane Avenue South.
But this would be able to be done
in 3.7 miles. Exit left to merge onto I-95 South.
Basically, as far as the body is concerned, I mean, if they're going to do a lung transplant in you, they're going to rip you open, rip the old lungs out, pack the new ones in, sew them in, all that stuff that they have to do. And then you got to deal with the rejection drugs, most likely for all of your life. I think virtually everybody has to take rejection drugs. Maybe they're getting to the point now where you don't have to. You got something to give you to, but I don't know that, and I don't care about this. Too soon. Not a germane thing in my life. But what's germane is that this guy is actually working with enough level of commitment that they're going to be producing devices that will assist human beings in oxygenating their blood. That's what you need to do when you breathe. You need to exchange the carbon dioxide and bring oxygen into your blood. And the oxygen is what fuels the furnace. You got all the fat that you burn in your body, but the oxygen is what actually fires up the stokers. So, with old people, well, not everybody who's old has COPD, nor is everybody with COPD old. But it is more commonly a disease of older people who've either abused their lungs through smoking, and I win that contest. Sometimes I have a hard time understanding. I graduated
in 2 miles. Exit left to merge onto I-95 South.
And I was smoking 3 packs of Camels a day, and I was smoking them down to nubs that big. I mean, you'd have thought they were drugs, for Christ's sake. And I smoked like that, probably lifetime average, 2 packs a day for 31 years. Well, it's kind of a good story. It kind of pisses people off, especially all you guys who've been fighting quitting drinking, quitting smoking, quitting drugs, whatever you're deciding to quit. People have a great deal of difficulty with that. I'm going to tell you how to shorten it, but first I got to tell you the story, right? So, I'm between wives, right? I'm doing some bar hopping. There were some nice pubs in my neighborhood. There was a Fridays, some other aimed at young adults, I'm 40 years old at this time, so and I'm a nice looking man, so I got that going for me. But I wasn't ever really successful there. Not never, but not a lot. It's not my
use the left lane to exit left to merge onto I-95 South.
I miss the old days when people sought their loves at work. I had a few years of that before the system went crazy, and nobody can talk to anybody now. My God. I gotta tell you a story. This is one of my favorite stories.
Exit left.
Let me see, I can almost tell you when it is. 1970.
Use the left 2 lanes to keep left.
So
Merge
I
onto
am
I-95 north toward International
29
Airport
years
Savannah.
And I'm working for Honeywell as a field service engineer. I go into plants and I fix
Keep left.
stuff in the plants. I fix the stuff in the plants. So I was out driving one afternoon, and I happened to notice. Remember I tell you about notice? Notice everything. The more you notice, the more aware you become. The more aware you become, the more you, the subtleties. Remember I always talking about the subtleties. Everything is in the subtleties. And out of the corner of my eye, I catch a marquee in front of a bowling alley. It says, "Don't forget to sign up for your winter leagues." I liked bowling, but I wasn't involved. I had just gotten out of the service, so I didn't really have.
In 10 miles,
a lot of,
take exit 362B to merge onto I-295 toward West Beltway.
No, I want to think about this. I'm thinking now this is 1972 because I'd been there a little while, about a year, maybe I was there 5 years, so it could have been anything. But anyhow, the date's not so important. In the early 70s is the time, and in the early 70s. We were in the micro miniskirt era. Girls actually wore those things to work. Cannot believe how hard it was to concentrate sometimes. So I'm in the office talking to one of the managers whose desk was accessible because you had to walk by it. Didn't have his own office. And the personnel guy walks in. And he's got this unbelievably stunning young woman on his arm, and she had just come to work for us. Every now and then, God sends you a vision of beauty, and if you're wise enough to savor it, it'll be with you forever. Every time I see that, I get a little smile. So, I went, "Oh my God! Please tell me you're sending me one of these." So he makes the introduction. And I looked at her and I said, "Do you bowl?" And she says, yes, I do." I said, I think his name was Joe. I said, "Joe, sign her up for the bowling league." And he gives me this, this kind of a look. "What bowling league?" "Well, the one I just created when I looked at this beautiful girl." So, as soon as I excuse myself, I shoot over to the bowling alley. And they have room for a 12-team league. So that night I put out a flyer and I distributed, because we got a couple weeks yet to put it together. And so we started the bowling league on Tuesday nights. I set it up so that I'm this kind of guy, I look at something and say, "Okay, what can you do to make it better?" And one of the ways to make a bowling league better is to skew the alignment in favor of the girls, which will draw the guys. So I set it up so there would be 5-man teams, 3 girls and 2 guys. So we got 12 alleys at 5, and the 5-man teams. So 12 alleys supporting 60 bowlers. Sometimes there were over 200 people there mixing, This was a high energy thing. When I was, I'm 30? I'm 28, 29 years old, I'm a guy who can go 3 days, party hard. No nasty drugs. We drank, we were drinkers at that time. But we started that league. I fell madly in love with that girl, I'll tell you that. We got close, but it wasn't meant to be, and that very often happens, you know. But she was one of the joys in my life. My hope for you is that you've been blessed and you've had lots of joys in your life, you know. But what it points out is that sometimes the things that you would like to have are just a bit of awareness away from becoming a reality. A guarantee? Of course not. What you're trying to do is to get a little bit of an edge. And if you observe things, and it doesn't take a second, here, I'll give you an indication. There's a movie called The Fifth Element. It's a Bruce Willis film. I did not like him at all when he was in that TV show, I think with Sybil Shepherd, and I don't even know what the name of it. I watched a part of a couple of episodes and I just didn't like the show. But as an actor, he's been a gas. He's given me many evenings of pleasure as I watched him, or my wife and usually Jerry liked him too, so you know, he's probably got 1,000 movies under his belt now, so it's pretty easy to find a Bruce Willis movie. Tom Terrific though. Tom Cruise, he's my favorite actor. I like the energy he brings, you know. He's a big Scientology guy. So here, let's talk about Tom Cruise, the Mystic Master. Okay? Remember, everybody's a master? So first I'm going to ask you, how many Tom Cruise movies have you watched? Number 2, I'm going to ask you how many times he made you cry. Number 3, how many times did he make you stick your tits out and say, fucking hey, that's the way a guy should really be? Whew. One day I hope I actually get to meet you, Mr. Cruz. I'll shake your hand and you'll understand I'm the next guy you should be talking to. Because you're a wonder of the world. And you're playing a kid's game with your Scientology. But that's just me, and I don't know anything. So, but someday, you've tremendously enhanced my worths, my life. I have names of movies. I can almost see the whole movie run past. He does one. Reacher, is it? He's a electronics maintenance guy on a burnt-out Earth. And he's a clone of the original guy. Who was an American hero. I cannot tell you how much inspiration I have taken from that movie that has helped me become this fucking BHAGWAN who's saying his job is here to save the world. Tommy Cruise, you could help me. We'll see, huh? Maybe one day you'll give me a call. I'll come to you, bud. So, now but be with this. Look at this Buddha now. I'm reaching out, I'm grabbing the guys by the ass. So some things must be going on. That they were there before, but do you understand that Jerry was a constraint? My wife was so ill that she could not travel. She was so ill that she needed sometimes extremely personal things to be done to help maintain some semblance of life for her. These were things that she had no comfort at all with anybody else doing but me. I think I mentioned to you, for the last year of her life, just her and I. And some of those days she had serious requirements. That's what needed to be. But that was also a tremendous constraint on what I could do. Like, number 1, I can't travel.
In 2 miles, take exit 362B to merge onto I-295 toward West Beltway.
The problem when you have someone who's totally dependent on you, or near totally dependent on you, is that condition continues all the time. So if you need to get out of town for a week, it doesn't suspend. So consequently, you can't get out of town for a week. I haven't traveled for 25 years. That's all changed. I haven't traveled yet, but I told you July 3rd I'm going back to Chicago. And wow, I know some really powerful people. And that's in virtually every direction that you can go. So I have to assess. I need some serious romance. Fuck. Oh my God. My wife was in so much pain.
Continue straight, then use the right lane to take exit 362B to merge onto I-295 toward West Beltway.
Her body was so, her back was broken 3 times in the same place. And the result of that was, I missed my turn, I think. There'll be another one. There'll be another.
Use the right lane to take exit 362B to merge onto I-295 toward West Beltway.
No, maybe not. Maybe I did miss. It's right here. Okay. So as I was saying, Jerry's back was broken in 3 places. It was broken 3 times in the same place. So in the correcting of the problem, all kinds of disc and vertebral material were taken out. So that the end result was a wide band of really thick scar tissue actually laid on her spinal cord. So virtually every movement that she made hurt.
In 1.5 miles, take exit 33 onto Duval Road toward International Airport Boulevard.
Hurt. You know, even the things you do just to relieve yourself cause you to use muscles down in the lower abdomen area, and that put pressure on her spinal cord. Felt like a most helpless, frustrated man, because there's nothing you can do for her. New operation, you know. She had, if you don't count the last half a dozen that she had since she's been here, she'd had 38 surgeries serious enough to require anesthesia in her life before we got to Florida. And she had, in relation to the kidneys and dialysis, they did a couple of things, and so I'm guessing that she went out with 42 surgeries.
Use the right lane to take exit 33 onto Duval Road toward International Airport Boulevard.
And she was wounded all the time. Well, that's just been lifted off of me. So, one of the things I'm going to Chicago for is to see if there's any energy there that I need.
Take the exit, then turn left onto Duval Road.
I don't know that yet. But I do know, remember that third type of
At the stop
situation?
sign, use the left lane to turn onto Duval Road.
I need to get wild and crazy for a while. I need
Turn left.
all of that pent-up frustration that I think dealt quite admirably with over the years.
Use the left lane to make a U-turn.
Just because you can deal with it doesn't mean it doesn't have its burden associated with it. So now I got to make a U-turn here because I'm talking to you guys and I missed the turn. Oh my God! But I don't care. This is just a joy. I'm driving down.
Make a U-turn.
One of the nice things about Florida is all of the drives are nice. I don't even know if they have a slum area in Jacksonville. I'm sure they have a beat up area. But
In 1.3 miles, turn left onto Mission Creek Drive.
So this next 10 days that I'm going to spend, I think it's only 9 days, I'm getting kind of excited. Get out of town with no direction at all. Other than, I think I shared with you, I'm taking my ex out because my kids are
Stay in the right lane.
to town to meet me too. So I'm going to spend
In 1 mile,
spend a lot of
turn
that
left onto
time
Mission
there
Creek
with
Drive.
those guys, and then of course I'm gonna have my mom and my dad. But the rest of the time is gonna be for me, and the late evenings will be for me. So we'll see what we can stir up. But I promise you, it's gonna get interesting, and then the energy will be okay. I've always made it. Remember I told you I'm a sexual person. None of you get laid enough. Even you guys who are getting all you can handle, probably not getting laid enough. But if we work at it, we can help you out. I'm here to help you in all areas. You know, I just told you something that I did to impress a drop-dead gorgeous young girl. And I think if she knew that I did that, she'd be seriously impressed. Because women genuinely appreciate a guy who goes out of his way to make himself visible to them. It's a soft entry. No hard kid. I didn't say, oh, babe, I'd sure like to get in your pants. You know, there's some dildo out there that actually that works, you know. You only had to look at this girl once to realize that men have been throwing themselves at her feet since she was 2. So, remember subtleties? Subtleties. What you will watch.
Turn left onto Seagrove Place, then arrive at your destination.
Is, let's say that I actually get lucky and find the energy that I'm looking for. And I become this example of one of the really great ways to live your life if you're an old shit.
Arrived.
All right, where the hell am I here? I think it's here. Well, we're gonna have to leave it at that. I'll pick it up in the next time. So Bhagwan's going to Chicago, and his intentions are to have a hell of a good time and to reach out and make that a hell of a good time over a wide spectrum. And I'll give you guys a report card when I finish, okay? Bye-bye. Let me see where I'm at here.